Danganronpa character tier list. If you don't know what Danganronpa is, then go watch videos, play the game, I don't know, as there's going to be obvious spoilers. And this video has came out before Danganronpa Descendants, therefore I will not know more about the character, therefore I won't be influenced by the 4 games. So let's start with Leon, the first murderer in the first Danganronpa game, therefore the first ever. He started basically it all off, even though it was technically Sayaka. I don't know, we didn't get to see a lot of him throughout the game, obviously, because he died in the first trial. But I respected it. He is one of the coolest Danganronpa characters, which I don't want to base people on, because one of my favourites is also one of the ugliest. He is the ultimate basketball player, baseball, whatever the hell it is. I haven't played the game in a few months. But he's fine, I feel nothing towards him. I don't hate him, I don't like him. He's a neutral character. Akane. What an interesting one. One of the survivors from Danganronpa 2, and I like her character. She is funny, she's the Aoi of Danganronpa 2, and I respect her. She is the ultimate gymnast, and she gets fat. She likes to eat a lot. She is very, very interesting. I like her. That's what we have to say about it. And then there's Alter Ego. It's just, I like Alter Ego. I don't hate her. She's just fine. She's just Chihiro as a robot. She helps a lot to the story. She is one of the main components to each of the game's stories. Oh, look who it is. It is Angie, the worst character. Must I say no more? Ah, Byakuya Togami. The cocky, the rich kid that you see in TV shows and movies. The antagonist of Danganronpa 1. He is nice. I like how he framed Toko to find out Genocide Jack's identity. He is one of my favourite characters in the games easily. But then again, my 3 favourite characters are all 3 antagonists. Also, he just thinks he's always right, so it's really, really funny seeing him in Trial 5, 6, him freaking out because he is not on top of everyone. He is a great character, he is my favourite. And then there's Celeste, a goth girl. She annoyed me so much. I was happy when she went in the 3rd trial. She's just there, she's just stupid. She tries to be more of the horror side of the game, but she isn't. She can't interact with each other. She isn't nice to anyone. She frames poor Hifumi Chiaki, the gamer girl of all of Danganronpa, the main female in Danganronpa 2, and for a reason. She is, after all, the traitor throughout the group. She is an AI. She never actually lived. Well, she technically did if you watched the anime. I've seen the anime, but I won't be including the characters in this list. From the fact that she's a gamer alone, she's a favourite. She slept throughout the whole entire story. I respect her. Chihiro, the quote-unquote female that was actually a boy. They were trying to gain everyone's trust. He was trying to let everyone know that he didn't want to stop being who he is, that he's actually a boy. I was really sad to see him go in the 2nd trial, but also did make one of the best trials in the game. I'd love to see him play throughout the games, and he is just great. Fujiko, the biggest gangster in all of the Danganronpa games. He's all by himself. He wants to be alone in the first 2 chapters of the 2nd game, but then he opens up and becomes the group. His character development really just goes straight after the 2nd trial though, and that's a problem I have, is because he doesn't really gain a personality after, of course, he becomes friends with everyone. He's not friends with anyone, then he is friends with everyone else. So for me, I like him, that's what I have to say. Genocide Jack or Jill, or whatever the hell you want to call. It's a fan favourite. She's a serial killer, she's split personality with a nerd. Yeah, okay, here's Toko, I'm also thinking up there. They're 2 great characters that really well intertwine with each other. It's surprising that they actually made it to the end of the game and didn't die though, because it's a serial killer. How did it not kill anyone? It made some really, really funny jokes. They were also great in Ultra Despair Girls, therefore I respect them really much. Gonta is a caveman, basically. He is a fan favourite, he is to everyone, not just me. I mean, it's Gonta, how can you not like Gonta? Gundam Tanaka, the craziest person in all of the Danganronpa games, and he is my 4th favourite character. He over-exaggerates about everything. I would have loved to see him in the able to win, to not die in the game. Too bad he had to kill Nekomaru. I just loved it every single time he spoke. It just had this charm to it. I don't know why, maybe because it was just so over-exaggerated. Hajime Hinata, Orange Juice fan, 69. He's an Orange Juice fan. I love him. Hifumi, the fattest person in all of Danganronpa. Also the weebiest. He had somewhat comedy in it, and it was sometimes funny, except when he was really dumb throughout the whole entire thing, so I dislike him. Himiko, I liked her more in the second half than the first half of V3. I'm putting her in dislike though, because she annoyed me over time, just so much more. And then she stopped. I just found her neutral, just for the throughout that after Trial 3. I just found her neutral throughout the rest of the game. But like Leon, when he was a neutral the whole entire time he was in the game, she was only neutral for half. Therefore, dislike. Aoi, she's the biggest donut fan in all of Danganronpa. She's the ultimate swimmer pro. She has some nice moments with Sakura. I just can't say no to putting her in love. Yasuhiro's mum is stupid. Yasuhiro is also stupid. They're both dumb and the worst person in each of their games. Hyoko, an annoying brat. For her size, she is so annoying. She wasn't originally wasn't supposed to die. There was supposed to be Fujiko, which I would have liked to see her character development throughout the game, but they just gave her a stupid character. Togami, fat Togami, whatever the hell you want to call him, the ultimate imposter. He was neutral. He died in the first trial. He's just the imposter of Mr. Togami, and I don't think it was really the way that they did it. It wasn't well earned. But I didn't mind him, so he's neutral. Ibuki, the most overrated character. She's all poppy, she likes music, she screams, she's always silly. But then again, what other personality trait does she have? She's always silly. She never changes emotion except from the despair disease, which I hated. She's neutral. Okay, I do not remember this version of Hajime's name. He was just at the end of the last trial. Izuru, that's it, Izuru. It was just at the end of the last trial. It wasn't very interesting. It made some really, really fun class trial bits, but apart from that, no. I hate all of the Ultra Despair kids. Fight me. The Headmaster. I don't hate the Headmaster, but we didn't get to see anything of him, only his skull in a box. I'm gonna start saying, I don't like Junko. Don't know why, I just never have. She annoys me so much. She's always changing her personality traits, where, why just stick with a personality? If Ibuki had too little, only one personality, Junko has too many. Especially when she was acting as a librarian, I hated that more than I hate Hifumi. So it's a dislike. Kaede, the protagonist of Danganronpa V3, but she also was the killer. I loved it when it was the first trial and everyone was shocked because we were the killer. It was so groundbreaking. Plus, she's pretty cool on the piano. Kaito Momota, Luminary of the Stars. Him and Maki are one of the best duos in Danganronpa. Kaito is always trying to cheer everyone up. He is so enthusiastic. He tries to help everyone. And he is a great second main character of Danganronpa V3. Pazuichi is one of the survivors of Danganronpa 2. And he's the biggest simp in all of Danganronpa. I like him. He didn't annoy me, but he didn't make me go, wow. Kibo, the most underutilized person. The most out in potential. It could be something big, but they didn't make it something big. He was nice in the final trial, blowing everything up. But I just don't really dislike him. Just because he could... The only character event me got was him getting improvements. And that doesn't cut it for me. Kirumi, the ultimate maid. She's a maid. All maids are great, I mean especially Rem. Kiyotaka but Mondo? He was annoying. Ah yes, Kokichi, my second favourite character and the antagonist from Danganronpa V3. He's great. He goes nihihi, he's so funny. It worked with him, where it didn't really work with Ibuki. And, I mean, he's Kokichi. Komaru is my least favourite playable character. I felt neutral towards her. She did annoy me a bit throughout the end of the game, but she was fine, I guess. Kurekio, I don't know how you say his name. He is the Celeste of Danganronpa V3, the scary man. And I liked him until his trial, believe it or not. I liked how mysterious he was, but then he messed everything up on the trial. He's a looniac who loves his sister. Do you see why I put him in dislike? Another despair kid. One of the Kumas that I don't know their name, but I hate it. Kyoko, the female protagonist of Danganronpa 1. She's so silent until the trials, where she tries to help our main character Makoto make it through. Also, there being the daughter of the headmaster who owned the school, having somewhat of a relationship with Monokuma generally. It was really good for a character, so she's a favourite. Mahiru is a hate. She backchatted everyone. The only person that she really cared about was Hyoko. She died for Hyoko's character development, and that's it. She was in the story for Hyoko, and that's about it, so therefore I didn't care much for her. Maki. Originally the child caregiver, but now the assassin. I liked her a lot. She's not a favourite, but she grew so much throughout the game that I'm glad she was one of the only 3 survivors. Makoto, the main character from the first game. I like Makoto. He was there, and I liked that he was just there. We were him, we got to know throughout his story. He wasn't annoying. He's just Makoto. Another kid. Another hate. Mikan, the clumsiest person in Danganronpa, the ultimate nurse. I liked her character throughout the game until the trial. Again, another 3rd trial where the character got completely ruined by it, so I'm putting her in dislike. And then there's Miu, the worst in her. Oh god, I like her character. There's that. Oh look, another despair kid who I'm actually putting in dislike. I don't hate this one as much as the others, just because she kind of filled the creepy. Mondo, Mr. Corn on the Cob. I liked Mondo. Didn't think I would. He had a sad. I felt sorry for him in the 2nd trial because obviously he killed his brother. He wanted to be strong, but he failed. And then we've got all the Monokumas. You were good. I liked you. I liked you. I like Monokuma. I don't like you. I hate you. You are fine, but I hate you also. Interesting. I don't remember whose person this name is, but it was the fake Junko. Yeah, I'm putting her in dislike with Junko, just cause reasons. And then there's Nagito, one of the despair kids. I'm putting him in dislike. Nagito, the best character in the game. He is the ultimate Lucky Stephen. He is the creepiest person. In the first trial, it was so creepy when he just went mad after being, you thought he was the Makoto, but no. He's actually the Byakuya. The antagonist, the best antagonist, the best character in the game. Nekomaru, the team manager, the jolly person. I like Nekomaru a lot. He died twice, technically, which I liked when he was a robot also. He is a great addition to Danganronpa 2. It was there for an Akane build-up, which I think worked really well for Akane. Peko, there for Fujiko, it didn't work very well. I love Rantaro. I think Rantaro is a really good character. The way that is just something like, what is his talent being revealed so late in the game after being the first death. It worked way better than Byakuya Togami. Or Fat, sorry. I would have loved for him to live okay, because he, at the beginning of the game, he was one of the coolest characters. I would have loved to see him react to his talent. But he died in the first. If he just survived that, maybe even 1 trial longer, he'd be a favourite. Ryoma Hoshi, the shortest character in all of the Danganronpa game. The ultimate tennis pro. Now, again, wasted potential, but I think it worked way better. I actually somewhat liked him in the game. He's a criminal who has no more friends and no more family. I felt sad when his video said, sorry, you have no friends and family, so you should just go die. What a nice message it was, and oh boy did his character hit a punch when I realised how sad his life was. Sakura, the most surprisingly good character in all of Danganronpa. She was there for Aoi, but it actually worked really well. I'm putting it in favourite. She has always been a fan favourite ever since. And why is she in hate? I just like the way that her character was handled, and also, I mean, she turned out to be really, really nice and let all her to kill herself so everyone else could live on. Sayaka, the first death in all of Danganronpa, and an interesting character. She was there for Makoto. She was a friend of Makoto being trade, and I enjoyed it enough. Shirokumo annoyed me. Shuichi, my favourite Danganronpa protagonist, or technically protagonist even though he became the protagonist after Kaede died. He is great. You saw him grow over the story. Maybe I don't like him as much due to the ending, but if you just don't include the ending like me, he grows so much as a character throughout the story. He's all shy at the beginning, then he takes his hat off. He just steals everything, including the main character. Sonia Nevermind, one of the best names in all of Danganronpa, must I say, and I liked her a lot. She's the ultimate princess, but she knows so much about Japanese culture that I understand about her character. She was also there for someone to Kazuichi to simp on, and I liked her dynamic between Gundam and Sonia, so I liked her a lot. Chihiro's dad, I feel neutral towards, just because we saw him die. Kiyotaka, I liked him. I really enjoyed his character. He follows rules. He's the moral compass after all. He's the ultimate moral compass. His character, he refuses to break rules. He will do whatever Monokuma tells him. But there again, that is his own character trait. But I enjoyed it when he went furious, as I said earlier. I didn't like, but I liked this part of him. Tenko is just a Amado. Therefore Himiko. Teru, I feel neutral towards. He is again one of the shortest characters. He's the first killer, he's a chef. What else do I have to say? Samugi, one of the again biggest disappointments in Danganronpa. She's the mastermind. I saw it coming a mile away. I didn't like her throughout the game, so I was wondering, why are they keeping her alive? It must be because she's the mastermind. And it was right. I do not remember this one's name, but I'll just put it in dislike. And the last character is Kaiji, whatever. He is a weirdo. He likes young girls. He's a weirdo.